Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 38 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. As you can see, the little setup we made last episode is working perfectly for our quarry. And we even have an extra redstone energy cell that I did craft between last episode and this one, so that as soon as the first redstone energy cell is completely empty and the timer here is finished ticking down, this is actually a good test because I want to see, now that my ender quarry is fully buffered here, I might need to bump this time up to something like 60 seconds, but oh well. Looks like we'll just send that one back. Hopefully it doesn't have too many problems. Yeah, it should be alright. It's not totally empty, but bumping it up to 60 seconds should definitely ensure that it is totally empty before that timer triggers. And of course you can see now the redstone energy cell here is running and doing its thing, and the quarry is of course working and behaving exactly well. Let's send it back to the base. And we'll see if it properly behaves out there. Just want to make sure. Yeah, see, because it's not totally empty, it didn't wind up making its way over to that thing. No big deal. It should be in here somewhere. Oh, maybe not. Where did it go then? Oh, you know what? It might not have made its way out of the chest. Oh, no, wait, it did make it over there. Cool. Just had a little bit of a delay. So even not totally empty is not a big deal, as long as it's, I guess, mostly empty. But we've got a pretty well-working system here now. So we've got power running back and forth. Let's finally configure what we need to do in order to export some stuff from the AE system to get it processed ore-wise. So you can see I've got a bunch of things in my inventory kind of already ready to go. What I'm going to do is run some cabling, probably under the ground here. So let's see if we can't find a good place to go in. Maybe, let's see, I want to check to see how hard it might be to make some ME conduit here. Well, that's not too bad. Let's check that stuff out. This is courtesy of Ender.io. Because everybody likes having multiple conduit cables in one block, he added some ME conduits, which don't seem too hard to make. You just need some conduit binder, which I think I can auto-craft, let's say 10 of them. Start. And that stuff will obviously cook up pretty quickly for us. Cool. And now we've got ME conduit binders, which basically work just like the conduit cabling here, except it can be in the same block space as other things. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to run some regular old glass cable. Can I get more of that, by the way? I don't know that I ever taught my AE system how to make this, but I should at some point. These are both pure, right? Let's get a few of them. To-do list, teach my AE system how to make ME cabling. And we'll jump into bat mode here. I should be able to connect right up to this guy, and he'll be the same, number of channels and whatnot. So let's run this probably back here, behind and below the machines. And I'm not going to use too much of the ME conduit stuff from Ender.io. I'm just going to use it where I need it. We want to make its way over to the chest that's right here. Okay, so let's see if we figure out where this needs to be. I'll probably need to run it right through these blocks right here. As a matter of fact, I don't need this thing to even exist anymore, so let's run the cabling this way. And now I can hit my ME conduit cables. Pretty cool. And tap into this guy right here, which can then run over to here. Nice. That should work. And then I want to place an ME export bus right there. Hooray! Let's see if everything works. So in order to configure this ME export bus, you'll notice there's 9 slots where I can specify what type of objects we should export from the AE system. It's very similar to the import bus, but in order for us to access all 9 slots, by default only one's available, but we can upgrade these with capacity cards, which are really easy to make. It's just a pure Certus crystal and a basic card here. Very easy. One of them gives me access to 5 total, and 2 of them gives me access to 9 total cards, and we do have 2 upgrade slots if we want to speed stuff up. let's start with iron ore. Boom, I'm just going to drop that in there, and we should start exporting iron ore from the system. Maybe. Can you tell me if I configured everything correctly? Hopefully I did. Oh, what's going on here? Why are you broken? Oh, we have no power. Well, there's your problem. I think my AE system is probably getting power drained because this thing is getting filled. Let's come back in a minute once it's done filling up. So our power problems aren't totally solved, but they are for the most part. We do use a lot of energy out at our base. Like I think it's around 600 RF to power that quarry. And all told here, I don't think we're generating quite that much. So, we'll keep an eye on things. For now, I'm just going to let this fill up and come right back when it is full, and then our AE system should switch back on. Something I could do if I wanted to is limit the input, so I could make this max input like 1,000. Just keep in mind that'll probably change some of the data about these redstone energy cells, and you might need to reconfigure your filters on your loaders and unloaders, but I'll try that out in a minute. Let's see what happens when this is done filling up. There we go. Redstone energy cell is full, block broken, placed in the buffer. Let's go try this again. So our AE system should be working again. With this in mind, I think I'm going to do something that should help us out. Let's do that in a minute. For now, I'm going to reconfigure the export bus. I just removed the iron from here because I wanted to wait until everything was on camera so you can see what's going on. So I place iron in there, and what we should start seeing is iron being placed in the chest. Sweet. And you can see it being processed right here in the system. Now, of course, we're only placing one piece of iron in the chest at a time, so let's get an acceleration card to speed things up. We'll probably just need one of these, which means we'll need one of these, and then one of these. I'll grab one for now and see if that's sufficient. So we're all right in terms of speed, but let's throw that in there. That'll definitely increase how much iron ore is being dumped into this chest, getting ready to be processed here. I also prepared ahead of time, thanks to my awesome auto crafting system, some capacitor upgrades to help speed up this process as well. So I can pop a upgraded capacitor in here, which should speed things up on both sides, like so. Now you'll notice that the only thing we have left to do is export the iron that's getting created from the furnace here into the AE system. Remember I told you guys anything that gets placed into an ME interface automatically gets dumped into your AE system, right? So all we have to do is get some conduits and dump them into any interface anywhere. Now, if we wanted to use up another ME channel, we could easily just place a interface, let's say, behind the alloy smeltery and make sure it's connected with cabling and set it to export to the back. Don't really feel like that's the greatest solution in the world. So let's instead do this. We'll switch into bat mode. Dun 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 dun. And I'm just going to tap into here. We're going to set this guy to insert. And there we go. If we take a look now, what we should see is this thing now running because we told it to any stuff that you smelt up automatically gets pulled out, dumped into the interface, and the interface automatically places it inside the AE system. Sweet, right? So all of our iron ore that we've told it to start backlogging is sitting in there ready to be processed. Let's add gold and silver, lead, copper, tin, and shiny and ferrous. I'm going to hold off on the yellowite. We do want to process yellowite here, but let's just hold off on that for a minute. And yeah, we'll come back here in a minute to handle that. Cool. So you can see here everything kind of doing what we want it to do. Awesome. I like it. So far, so good. And to be honest with you guys, we don't even need this insert mode here anymore, so we can take this item thing out. We will set him to be extract only. We'll stick with the brown channel, that's fine. So now, this thing was just because I had it switched and removed, but now we should only be extracting things from the chest, on the brown channel, placing them in here. Anything extracted from here gets smelted, placed in here, and then this thing is pulled out and sent over to here on the green channel. Sweet. So we've got fully automated ore processing. I will go ahead and add my yellowite ore probably after I've processed all this stuff. Now what I want to do is do something with wireless redstone. So I don't know if we played with wireless redstone yet, have we? I don't know. Let's see. I don't think we have. So let's craft ourselves some obsidian sticks. So we're going to need some obsidian, and we're also going to need some other good stuff. What this is going to do for us, or the reason I'm doing this, is right now we have no good way to turn on and off our quarry. And I might want to do that because, as we've noticed, we're having a few power issues, and I might not want my quarry running all the time. Maybe my AE system is getting pretty full, and we have plenty of resources, and we just don't need the quarry running right now. So let's create a quick on-off switch for the quarry. Now, unfortunately, there's no direct way to turn off a ender quarry, so we're going to have to do this kind of a funny way, but you'll see what I mean. So right now I'm crafting the components that are needed to make the following: a wireless transmitter, which is this guy, and a wireless receiver, which is this guy. Okay, so let's first get the wireless thingy here, and we're also, while we're at it, going to want a stone bowl, which is very easy to make. Okay, then we want to make one wireless transmitter. Ta-da! And while we're at it, a few more stone slabs, and one wireless receiver, which needs the receiver dish. And there we go. So wireless transmitters and receivers, great way for transmitting redstone signals wirelessly. Gotta love it. In order for this to work, all we need to do is the following. First, I'm going to get a lever. And what I'm going to configure is a place for this to live. I'm going to leave it in this room right here. So I'm going to place it maybe up on the wall here, and we'll put the lever underneath it. And all we have to do is configure a frequency. So any wireless transmitters and receivers that share the same frequency will share the same redstone signal. We can just set the frequency to a number, or we can go into advanced mode and give it a name. So what I'm going to do is name it Ender Quarry, and set the name. So now channel 1, or the frequency number 1, is specified to the name Ender Quarry. All we need to know is that Ender Quarries are on channel 1. Cool. And I'm going to flip that on for now. Let's go out to our quarry after I sleep through the night real quick. So like I said, there's no direct way to turn off an Ender Quarry. Really, the only thing you can do is cut the power to the Ender Quarry. So let's go out there and configure that. Luckily, Ender.io has a very nice way to handle this for us. All we need to do, as you can see, I've got a lever here. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. I guess it'll kind of restart itself. Wow, that thing had like no block breaking. Anyway, let's configure it. So, in order for this to work, I'm probably going to want to tap in somewhere. Let's swing back. I want to get a cover. Cover will probably help me out here. Oh great, we're low on power again. Probably charging another energy cell. Yep. So let's change this to this. No, that's only for outputting. I'm just going to disable the input of power for the time being. Oh, well, that'll export it then. Cool, that'll drain the energy cell. I'm just going to stop the charging the energy cell for a minute, and this should help us out. So let's get ourselves a cover. That'll be fine. I'll switch this guy back to import power and ride my cart back out. So I'm thinking here might be where I want to tap into this. So I can place a cover right there. And I should be able to place the thing here and rotate it, set it to channel 1, and you'll notice that my up connection on the power conduit, I've got it set to active without signal. So I'm going to make it active with signal so that when you're receiving a redstone signal, you're allowed to transmit power. And you'll notice the Ender Quarry is building up its internal buffer, and the energy cell, maybe I can access it, yes, is losing power. Real quick, if we didn't have a redstone signal here, you'll notice that the Ender Quarry is now losing power, and the redstone energy cell is no longer transmitting. So I've basically given an on-off switch to the power conduit here so that we can, real quick, on-off switch the Ender Quarry. So keep in mind, though, the internal buffer will still run. So when you switch it off, it'll stop draining power from the energy cell, but it will not immediately shut off the quarry until the quarry's internal buffer of power is all drained out. So let's head back, and I'm going to turn off my quarry for now because I want to let my base's power kind of recover from all the mess that I've been doing with power and such. So when I turn this off right here, you'll notice we're going to still continue to recharge the energy cell that's back at our base. So this thing is still continuing to recharge. But if we head out to the Ender Quarry, even though it's still running, which we can see here, and it's still, scanning blocks and mining for us, what we'll also notice is that we're no longer losing power in the energy cell, meaning that once the one back at our base is full, it won't be, running back and forth with energy cells and recharging them. So for the time being, we've got an on-off switch that's pretty good. The only downside, of course, is that you'll still be mining until, the power buffer there runs out. All right, guys, looks like our base has finally settled down power-wise. We've got a full redstone energy cell here. We've got all this good stuff going on there. And basically, I want to go ahead and add the yellowite ore here so that it starts processing as well. So what we should start seeing is yellowite getting dumped into this thing here. And wow, that thing is running fast. I don't know why that's running so darn fast, but I guess it is. Okay then, cool. And then yellowite will be processed into yellowite ingots, which can be used later for big reactors. But at least we've got the processing down now. I don't know why it's running quite so fast, but I guess I won't complain. Maybe it's some kind of weird config setting, I don't know. But yellowite seems to process quickly. That's a surprise to me. All right, let's get started working on something a little bit different now that we've sorted out all our base's power problems and gotten our quarry back up and running and pretty much completely adapted an applied energistic system. All right, guys, after doing a bit of hunting throughout the world, I managed to get myself enough ender pearl materials. These are ender fragments from Ender Zoo. They dropped from some of the new mobs added by Ender Zoo. I got 4 ender pearls, which is going to be the last of my ender pearls for now. I really need to come up with a way to get more of these, but I'm going to cook them up, probably in my magma crucible, and get myself a bucket's worth of liquid ender. Just one of these, please. And we should have, let's see, really? Okay, so let's get some tin. Oh, there it is, pulverized tin, okay. I got these things kind of ready for us. So I've got 2 pulverized tin, silver, and shiny metal. And while I'm at it, well, let's go get the bucket first, filled up with the liquid ender. So 4 ender pearls yields 1 bucket of resonant ender, and I can combine these things like so. I think it's shapeless. Hooray! Enderium blend. Time to make some enderium. So we're going to need some pyrotheum dust. Let's get some of that while we're here. So pyrotheum dust, not too hard to make. You're going to need some sulfur and coal dust, redstone and blaze powder. Should be easy to make a set. And then we just drop these 2 things together into an induction smelter, and you'll get yourself some enderium. So what do I want to do with this? Well, I want to upgrade my current power storage unit to be the top tier of power storage, the resonant ender cell. And it's really easy to do. You just need 4 of these enderium ingots and the existing resonant energy cell. So let's get these, jump downstairs. I can even deposit this stuff that I don't need anymore. We can steal this. I'm just going to borrow this for a minute base. Don't panic. And come upstairs where I will combine it in a crafting table. What's nice about this is it will retain its charge when you do this. So you'll notice that the new resonant energy cell, which is capable of holding 50 million RF, already has a charge of 10 million because that's what was in the redstone energy cell. And it should have remembered most of its settings. So if we pop this guy down here, we'll note that we're exporting out the top and importing on all sides. And this thing is now able to store 50 million RF, way more power for the base, which is a good thing because obviously we need lots of power. So this is more of an energy buffer. It's not really generating power, of course, but it'll mean that we have lots of power that we can use when needed. Speaking of power, I want to swing by to my blood magic area real quick. Do I even have a ender thingy over there? I don't think I do, and I should probably set one up because I want to start doing a little bit more with blood magic. So maybe it would be a good idea. Let's see. These are the lights, and that's the zombie spawner. And this is a hardened energy cell that I set up. Oh, cool. We have lots of rocket fuel over here. Well, I mean, we can just get this thing running briefly. What I would like to do, let's real quick make a travel anchor. Shouldn't be too hard to make for us, right? Travel anchor. We have almost everything we need except this guy. Let's get him. Do I have any pulsating iron? Probably not. Maybe it'll actually be hard to do this because I don't think I have an ender pearl, and that's what I need. Darn. Oh well, I'll make one later. Let's get our sacrificial dagger and our divination sigil. What I'd like to do is upgrade my altar a little bit. So in order to do this, we're going to need quite a bit of life points, and we're also going to want some stone. So let me get like half a stack of this, and I'm also going to grab a capacitor, I think. Let me get the octadic capacitor here. This is going to be the top two. Ah, darn it. Well, then I'll steal the double layer capacitor. That'll do. I'll make an octadic later when I have, again, more ender pearls. Definitely have to come up with an ender pearl solution here. I will figure something out at some point. So for now, let's run up here, and I'm going to remove what's currently in the altar. Thank you. That's my apprentice blood orb, and we'll start filling up the altar with all kinds of cool stuff. There we go. Should have some life points stored in there now. Good. Looking sharp. Let's go up there and just add something real quick, if I may. Let's snag this guy. Can I access my powered spawner from here? Probably not. Well, let's do it this way then. You're set to spawn, and I'm going to place the double layer capacitor in there. This thing is now going to use 500 RF per tick rather than what it was, which was 160. So it's a bit more expensive now, but that's okay. It's going to produce mobs a lot faster. I guess twice as fast. I don't know what the exact number is, but let's pop back over to our base and sleep through the night here, and then we'll be back. So now that I've upped the demands for power at the mob spawner, I can go ahead and run a power line from my base that connects directly into here. And we should have, you know, close to enough power gen. I mean, it's going to use 500 RF per tick, which is actually quite a lot. But what I could do if I'm running into power problems is just shut down the bottom connection so that it no longer can receive power from the main base. And then, of course, you know, just put it back and turn it back on. So for now, this will be a kind of a temporary setup until we have a more efficient way to get power around from one location to another. But at the very least, we've got a way to get power from our base over to here so that we can turn on the mob spawner and hopefully produce mobs pretty quickly. Let's flip it on and see what happens. So we should have access now. If we jump into bat mode, I'd like to take a look in there and see how things are going. So this thing should spawn faster now that it's running at 500 RF per tick instead of 160. Still not as fast as I would like, but pretty good. Wow, that's still pretty slow, but I mean, it's definitely better than not, so. All right. Give me a few minutes here, guys, then I'll be back once I've gotten my altar filled up with a good amount of life essence. Well, I guess it's speeding up a little bit, so that's pretty good. We are going to use our power pretty quickly from this thing, aren't we, though? Yeah, pretty fast. Oh, you know what? He can only output 400 RF per tick. That's part of the problem. I mean, it requires 500, so we're not even running at full speed up there. So that is kind of part of the problem. Yeah, see? Alright. Keep that in mind. Alright guys, so as you'll notice, every time we kill a mob, let's see, we're at 7250 right now. I kill a zombie, and now we're at 7750. So we get about 500 LP from each mob that we kill. That's not bad, but it's really not much, and we're going to want a lot more as we progress in blood magic. So let's upgrade this thing as best as we can. So I'm going to take a transfer node here from extra utilities, and I'm going to place a chest on top of it, like so. And hopefully I can, no, I can't access that chest because of this block here. I can't really remove the block there either, so we'll move the chest over one. It'll make it a little bit easier. There we go. And how's this thing doing power-wise? Getting low. All right, so what we're going to do is configure this to export a certain type of item. And that type of item that I want to make is going to help us a lot with blood magic. Let's go ahead and do it. When we place stone in here, as we've already seen the tier 1 blood altar produce, you get a certain item that takes about 1,000 LP to make. That thing. Now, if you leave it in there, after a few seconds, it'll start processing again, and it'll upgrade to the second version of this slate item. And if you want to take a look at them, I think they're listed here. So there's blank slates and reinforced slates. The third tier is imbued. The fourth tier is demonic, and I think the fifth tier is ethereal. And they're all pretty much used as crafting components in the system of blood magic. I'm just getting a little bit more LP for this process. So you'll notice also that this thing requires 2,000 to go from tier 1 to tier 2, and this requires 1,000. So in total, 3,000 LP per reinforced slate. Now, if you want to automate this, which I always do, I'm going to go ahead and create a filter with my extra utilities and just place that item filter in there. Reinforced slates. Now, anytime I go ahead and place stone into the blood altar, it's going to not get pulled out because it's not reinforced slate. When it upgrades to the blank slate, it's still not going to get pulled out. And then all the reinforced slates can go into here. So you can see it's processing, doing its thing, and eventually it'll become reinforced slate, which is pretty much what we want. Cool. Sounds like my zombie spawner is doing a pretty good job. Debating if I just want to run my power line directly up there and just skip this whole hardened energy cell, fluid combustion thingy, but we'll see. For now, it looks pretty good. Now, if we wanted to take this one step further, let's automate the insertion of the smooth stone. Sound like a plan? So what we're going to need is a couple components. So there's a special kind of pipe that comes from extra utilities called the hyper rationing pipe. And for this, we're going to need about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons. That's the crafting recipe, don't ask me why. But hyper rationing pipes are cool, and let me show you why. If we were to grab a couple of chests here, just for a quick demonstration of how these work, what you do is you have the pipes, and you can connect the hyper rationing pipe with any other pipe type. For example, just regular transfer pipes. We'll put that here. Well, I'll put the hyper rationing pipe there. That should connect. Yeah. What this does is it will always keep one of a type of item in inventory. So for example, if we were to put a whole stack of smooth stone in there, you'll notice that all the smooth stone gets backstuffed in the transfer node, and it always keeps exactly one of these types of items in the chest. The other type of pipe you can get is just the regular rationing pipe. So hyper rationing keeps exactly one item. Rationing keeps exactly one stack of an item, so it'll always keep one full stack. Cool. Every time you remove that item, it'll immediately insert one more. It'll always keep one of that type of item in the chest. Pretty cool, right? Now, another neat trick that I'll show you guys is that you can actually, if we were to remove this and this, when you place the chest directly next to the inventory that you want to keep supplied, you'll notice that it's connected with a normal pipe. But if you place the hyper rationing pipe in one of these slots here, it'll actually convert the immediate connection there, so that if we want to have a really small and compact design, it'll still keep one item at a time, instead of if it were without a hyper rationing pipe, it would just throw everything in there. Cool. So we're going to use that to manage our altar thingy. Now remember I said it takes about 3,000 LP to create the blank slate that we're going to make here, right? And we can store about 10,000 LP in the altar. So we really don't want to start running the altar until we have about, 3,000 in there, or about a third. Well, I think it might be a little bit easier to say about a half. So in order to measure how much blood we have in the altar, we can use the following from BuildCraft. So I'm going to make some cobblestone structure pipes, which are a very nice way to place gates where we want them. So I just made a gate over here in my system. I think this is about all we're going to want. Oh, there's monsters nearby, really? Go away, monsters. I want to sleep. Alright, back when I can sleep. So, behind the altar here, I'm going to place, let's see, where can I best do this? That will be with these levers right here. The altar's getting a little bit cramped. So I'm going to place the chest here that we're going to place stone into, okay? And what I'm going to do is place the transfer node, like so, with a hyper rationing pipe in it. Then I can place all the stone that I want into the altar. Now, unfortunately, it's going to keep on running. But here's a neat trick. If you apply a redstone signal to the transfer node, it'll stop transferring items. And we can measure the amount of liquid inside an altar using the gate from Buildcraft. So let's put a gate here right next to the altar, place it down, and we're going to configure it for all kinds of different stuff. It contains less than 50% liquid. And you'll notice it's currently giving a condition of true. I'm going to tell it to emit a redstone signal when that's true. And I'm going to hook up right here and use my Yeta wrench to make sure that by right-clicking on this side we're connected and right-click on that side we're connected. Ta-da! Now we've configured this to emit a redstone signal when we have less than 50% fluid inside this tank. And we can see that's true because we have less than 5,000 LP, which is about half, right? So when the redstone signal is being emitted here, it's not allowing the transfer of items from the chest into the altar. So check this out. Once this thing finishes, it'll get sucked out. More stone will not be pulled out from here until we're ready. Cool. And we also have that buffer in here, don't forget. So it's just sitting there, not transferring items, right? Once we fill up the altar with about half full, so let's kill a few mobs here. Where are we at with life points? We're at 32, so 1, 2, 3. Brings us up to 4750. One more, boom. And you'll notice as soon as I killed that guy, a piece of stone got inserted. That's because we were above half, which turned off the redstone signal, which allowed the transfer node to put an item in there. And then this thing will get upgraded, and it won't get pulled out until it matches the filter. And it won't put another piece of stone in there until we are, once again, half full. Cool. So let's check that out one more time. Once this thing is done processing. Dun, 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 dun. And we're going to want these reinforced slates because they do all kinds of good stuff for us. There's actually a lot we're going to need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should probably be close, right? 4250. 1. And then as soon as we kill one more, boom. Let another piece of stone in. Nice, right? Pretty cool. So now, let's turn these reinforced slates into something useful for us. So if we want, we can craft a rune of sacrifice. It's a very, very useful rune. You can upgrade your blood altar. You don't have to use just the simple runes that we've been using so far. We can upgrade with better runes that have different purposes and different bonuses to the altar itself. Now with a tier 2 altar like we have right now, really the only runes we can replace are the 4 corner runes right here. So I'm going to replace them. So remember, when you break this, it brings us back down to a tier 1 altar, but don't worry, when you place the runes back in, it'll once again be a tier 2 altar. Okay, so I'm going to replace these guys, and what these runes of sacrifice do is it means you'll get more life points when you kill stuff like monsters in this area. So there's a bunch of different runes that you can get if we take a look. Augmented capacity means the altar can store more than 10,000 LP at a time. And dislocation allows it to transfer liquids faster, so you can actually store this life essence as a liquid in tanks and stuff. Rune of the orb allows the player to store more life points in their soul network. Superior capacity is like an upgraded version of augmented capacity, and there's a bunch of other runes. Speed makes it craft faster. Efficiency makes it more efficient. There's all kinds of good stuff you can do, right? So you'll notice now we've got 4250. When I kill a mob here, we should now have more than 500 gained, or no, not quite. All right, so maybe I lied. Maybe it's not these force. Maybe it's the corners that it can't be in. And what we actually want it to be is here, 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 here. Once you get to a tier 3 altar, which we'll probably try and get to this episode, it doesn't matter. You can replace all the runes with upgraded versions. It's just the tier 2 that you can only upgrade a little bit. So that should increase now. So let's see, 4750, kill one mob, and we're at 5,400. So we got a bonus, right? Instead of giving us 500, we got quite a bit more. We got 650 out of it. So not bad, right? And the more runes of sacrifice you put in there, the more you get from your swinging of the dagger. So by upgrading the altar, it makes it a lot better and a lot more efficient for us. And with that, guys, I'm surprised to say it's already time to wrap up the episode, unfortunately. So what we'll do is we'll come back next time. I'm going to spend a little bit of time off camera making a bunch of reinforced slates. And that's just going to help us to upgrade our altar. Now, I'm going to want to get it to a tier 3. We're going to either need reinforced, or we're either going to need the runes of sacrifice or just regular old blood runes. We're going to need 20 of them. 5 on each side. So all the smooth stone we have laying around here is going to have to be replaced with blood runes or sacrifice runes, one of the two. And once we've got that all set up, then we should have a better time. We can have a tier 3 altar. It gives us access to all kinds of new stuff from blood magic, and we can have some more toys and goodies that we can start utilizing. For now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Got a lot accomplished today from multiple different points of view. We got, upgrades done for our altar. We've got, all kinds of crazy stuff done. We got the ore processing completed, and we took care of turning on and off the quarry. So hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back next time. For now, take it easy.